Everyone, welcome to the Town of Grand Falls-Windsor Council Meeting number 583. First order of business tonight, I'll call the meeting to order, and we'll get into the adoption of the minutes from meeting number 582. Any errors or omissions? Okay, no errors or omissions. I'll look for a mover and a seconder. Moved by Councillor Hiscock, second by Councillor Noel. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Contrary-minded? Motion carried. Should mention Councillor Cody is not here this evening. She's probably in St. John's now for the Municipalities Newfoundland and Labrador Conference. And of course, she was elected president once again for a 2-year term, so congratulations to her on that. And that's why she's unable to be here this evening. Wanted to pass along her regrets. Any business arising out of the minutes? No business arising. We'll move into the disbursement report. Councillor Dwyer, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I move the disbursement report dated October 24th, 2023 in the amount of $1,731,717.27.
Okay, it's been moved by Councillor Dwyer, second by Deputy Mayor Brown. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye. Contrary-minded? Motion carried. Move into committee reports. First up is Community Services. Deputy Mayor Brown, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Community Services Committee met at 5 p.m. Thursday, October 10th, 2023. Those in attendance were myself as Chair, Councillor Holly Dwyer, Councillor Andrew Little, Mayor Barry Manuel, Councillor Amy Cody, Councillor Bob Niscott, Councillor Dave Noel. Staff in attendance, Darren Finn, our Chief Administrative Officer, Robin Hannaford, a Communications Officer, and Todd Mercer, Director of Community Services. First order of business was the Legends of Hockey. The committee reviewed the proposal from Legends of Hockey to bring a game to Grand Falls-Windsor in November. The committee decided that with the limited time, lack of noticeable names, and the cost of the event, it would not be feasible to host the game at this time. Seniors Wellness Show. The director informed the committee of the successful completion of the Seniors Wellness Show that was held on Thursday, October 5th. The director also informed the committee that there were 45 businesses and organization booths at the show, and over 750 citizens attended the event, the largest crowd in the show's history. Community Kitchen update. The director informed the committee that he has met with the Community Kitchen group to see how the Community Services Department can help with 100% increase in demand for services. The director will work with them to find any grants or programs that may be available for them to meet the demand. Grand Falls-Windsor Softball Group invited guests at 6 p.m. The committee was pleased to hear from Hannah Russell and Mary Folks on the growth of the ladies and mixed softball in Grand Falls-Windsor. The group informed the committee that they have over 85 new players this year with teams from Botwood, Northern Ireland, Bishop Falls, and Peterview in their league. They informed the committee that they are in the planning stages to start a youth division next year and asked if the Community Services Department could help. The director informed the group that the department will help in any way they can with scheduling and to provide the necessary equipment to run the program. The softball group also discussed some field concerns at Main Street with additional infield material required for both fields, a net or drainage solution for outside B field, and the possibility of looking into additional lighting with the increased demand of teams and limited scheduling time to play. The director will discuss field maintenance with the Director of Public Works and Development for additional funding for next year. The committee has some discussion on additional lights and the costs associated with them. The committee recommends that the director meet with the softball and baseball organizations to see if a field schedule for all 5 fields can be incorporated into next year's programming. Exploits Valley High request. The committee reviewed a request from Exploits Valley High to help develop a soccer field behind the school. This request would review the purchase of 2 nets that will allow the school and any individuals to use the facility. The director will work with the school to see if there are any grants available to help with the purchase of the equipment or if there are any nets that can be used from the existing inventory. Memorial United Church request. The Director informed the committee that the date for the event passed before the community services meeting was held. The committee recommends that the Director follow up to see if the department can help with a prize for their next event. And just to be more clear, the church had asked us for some help with an event they were having. The request never got to us in time, and I think Mr. Mercer is after speaking to him and ensuring that for their next event we will be there to help. Teen Challenge correspondence. The committee reviewed the correspondence from Teen Challenge and a financial donation to the upcoming event in Grand Falls-Windsor. The committee recommends that Deputy Mayor Brown follow up with the group to get additional details on the event and report back at the next meeting. Community garden correspondence. The committee had some discussion of the request for funding from the community garden and hiring a staff member for the 2024 growing season. The committee recommends that the Director work with the group to find grant funding and to ask the group to fill out a community grant application offered by the Community Services Department for the 2024 budget year. Other business. The Director informed the committee that the department is looking at the next round of brand purchases for the department. The committee recommends to look at fall-winter toques and coffee mugs that can be used for random acts of kindness days in December. The Director informed the committee that he has met with the Sparkling Blaze Figure Skating Club and that things have improved since the last meeting. The Director will continue to work with the club on additional ways to promote figure skating and additional funding programs available. The Director informed the committee that he had several requests from the community, both private and community groups, on borrowing tables. The Director informed the committee that the tables will only be loaned out to not-for-profit groups as per our loan-out policy. The Director informed the committee of the Chamber of Commerce Gala event on October 19th at the Royal Canadian Legion. The committee recommends that anyone interested in attending to contact the economic development staff. The committee has some discussion and a request from Exploits Valley High about involving students in the community cleanups for the sake of earning community volunteer hours. The committee recommends that the Director work with the school and provide garbage bags and gloves for the cleanups. The committee has some discussion on the proposed kayak launch that was being considered for Gorge Park. The Director informed the committee that the application for funding was not approved and will not be added to the 2024 capital list. The Director informed the committee of another successful family fun day held at Gorge Park on Saturday, October 7th, 2023. The event received record numbers of participation with over 1,200 people in attendance. The meeting adjourned at 8 p.m. and I'll move the recommendations and report of this committee.
Okay, it's been moved by Deputy Mayor Brown, seconded by Councillor Little. Any discussion on the community services minutes? Councillor Dwyer.
Just one correction there. I think Deputy Mayor Brown may have misspoke about the kayak launch, that it was in the budget for last year. It was more expensive than we anticipated, and it will be added to the 2024 capital list.
Right.
That's it corrected.
Yes.
Thank you, Councillor Dwyer.
Thank you for that correction. Noted. Okay, any other discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried. Okay, we'll move into Public Works. We do have two sets of minutes for Public Works, and I will excuse myself for the first set of minutes. So Deputy Mayor will take the gavel and take care of that, and I'll be right back.
Okay, the minutes will acknowledge that the Mayor has left for this section of Public Works and Development Committee minutes, and I'll ask Councillor Hiscock to read those, please.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Public Works and Development met 5 p.m. Wednesday, October the 11th. Present were Chairperson Councillor Amy Cody, members Deputy Mayor Mike Brown, Councillor Bob Hiscock, Councillor Holly Dwyer, Councillor Andrew Little, Councillor Dave Noel, and staff present Darren Finn, Chief Administrative Officer, Nelson Chapman, Director of Public Works and Development, and Robin Hannaford, Communications Officer. Queensway, land. The committee reviewed the latest proposal for acquisition of a parcel of land, 2.9 acres, on Queensway to help facilitate a new roadway easement for more residential development and some land to expand parking at the Corduroy Brook Nature Center. The current owner of the land, Queensway Shopping Center Limited, is also requesting 0.7 acres of land for their subdivision development. The net difference would be 2.2 acres at a cost of $100,000 per acre. The committee recommends this be approved and to work with Queensway Shopping Center Limited to finalize the deal. The meeting adjourned at 5:25 p.m. and I move the recommendations and report of this committee.
Thank you, Councillor Hiscock. Can I get a seconder for that? Councillor Little, thank you very much. Any discussion with respect to the minute? So just briefly, the Mayor excused himself because Corduroy Brook Nature Centre are involved in this land, and I don't think it was in a conflict of interest at all, but we're being very cautious these days with the conflicts of interest, so that's why the Mayor left for this minute. There being no further discussion, all in favour? Any opposed? Motion carried. Councillor Noel, or ask the Mayor to please.
Okay, moving right along. We got the second set of Public Works minutes. When you're ready, Councillor Hiscock, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Public Works and Development met 5:30 p.m. Wednesday, October the 11th. Present were the chairperson, Councillor Amy Cody, members Deputy Mayor Mike Brown, Councillor Bob Hiscock, Mayor Barry Manuel, Councillor Holly Dwyer, Councillor Andrew Little, Councillor Dave Nolan, and staff present, Darren Finn, Chief Administrative Officer, Nelson Chapman, Director of Public Works and Development, and Robin Hannaford, Communications Officer. Town boundaries. The committee discussed a proposal from the provincial government for the town boundary to be extended further east to accommodate servicing the entire section of Grenfell Heights Extension. Currently, the boundary sits at the transmission line approximately 500 meters from the New Bay Road intersection. The government was proposing upgrades to the road and transferring ownership to the town council agreed upon to complete all future maintenance. The committee is in favor of the transfer of the first 500-meter section of the existing boundary and recommends staff continue to work with government. The committee also recommends more discussion with government on boundary changes, but government must work out the details with Bishop Falls if they intend to work on this change. Demolition Order 145 Grenfell Heights. The committee reviewed the latest property inspection report for 145 Grenfell Heights. The property was previously issued a cleanup order, but no work has been completed to date. The foundation of the dwelling was structural issues along with other deterioration which makes it uninhabitable. The property landscape also requires maintenance. The committee recommends staff prepare a property status report for the Chief Administrative Officer and a demolition order be issued. Repair Order 60 Main Street. The committee reviewed the property inspection report for 60 Main Street. This property has numerous concerns, including major structural issues and deterioration of the outside of the structure. The committee recommends staff prepare a property status report for the Chief Administrative Officer and a repair order be issued. If the owner neglects to complete the necessary repairs, it is to be brought back to the committee for consideration of a demolition order. 8 Ireland Drive. The committee reviewed information from staff regarding a parked travel trailer at 8 Ireland Drive. The trailer is parked in front of the property and extends out close to the sidewalk. There have been concerns brought forward by a neighbour. The trailer exceeds the allowable length permitted to be parked, and the resident at 8 Ireland Drive has requested a permit to park the trailer as per the regulations. Staff have visited the site and have recommended a permit be issued for 1 year, as there is ample site distance for the adjacent properties leaving the driveways. The committee recommends that a permit not be issued and for staff to inform the resident that the trailer must be parked elsewhere as it exceeds the length noted in the regulations. Environmental Resources Management Association. The committee reviewed the request from IRMA for the town to develop a parking area for the ATVs, UTVs, snowmobile users that travel on the south side of the river. At times, there were a lot of parked vehicles within utility trailers along the road and interferes with passage to and from the Irma location. They have indicated a site known as Chico's Landing across from the intersection to Irma. They also requested the town supply an operating grant to allow them to complete snow clearing of the parking area once constructed. The committee recommends staff look into the construction of the parking area and complete it if it can be done within the operations budget. However, the committee recommends the request for the grant be denied. Community garden request. The committee reviewed a request from the community gardens for more land to expand their operation by the Curling Club off Lincoln Road. This area has also been identified as a future residential development, and staff cautions further expansion may interfere with the long-term plan and recommends a relocation to a permanent site that permits expansion for the future. Staff also provided the committee with several options to consider. The committee recommends that the long-term housing development not be jeopardized and staff continue to plan for the permanent location. However, the committee recommends that the community garden be permitted to expand to a maximum of another 0.77 hectares and remain at the current location until a new location is ready in the future. Public Works reports. The committee reviewed the latest reports from the Public Works Division on work completed to date. Most maintenance areas have shown a significant increase from 2022. Water quality. The committee had a discussion on water quality. The staff have continued to flush the system to help improve water quality and have also developed a standard approach to deal with reported cases of discolored water. Staff have also initiated discussions with a consultant to get an independent review of the distribution system. The committee recommends staff continue to deal with issues immediately and ensure the consultant understands this issue is a top priority for council. The committee also recommends members of the public that experience issues to report it to Public Works at 709-489-0420. The meeting adjourned at 7:40 p.m. and I move the recommendations and report of this committee.
Okay, it's been moved by Councillor Hiscock, seconded by Councillor Knoll. Any discussion on the second set of Public Works minutes? Deputy Mayor.
Mayor, just with respect to demolition orders, and we've seen a few lately in our minutes here at the public council meetings, that's the last resort for council, obviously, is the demolition order. By the time we issue a demolition order, we're after going through 2 or 3 more steps over an extended period of time, and we give the homeowners and resident owners plenty of notice, plenty of time to make the necessary repairs before we ever enter into a demolition order. So it's not something we do very lightly, and it's not something we don't like to do at all, but necessary in some cases. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Any other comments, discussion? Hearing none. A couple quick comments there. I guess the Grenfell Heights extension, the land boundaries, some good news may be involved in that. We certainly hope so. The long saga of Grenfell Heights extension and the condition of the roadway, which has been a topic here for many years, we expect will be resolved through this. Now, of course, I'll believe it when I see it. That's probably what the people on Grenfell Heights extension are saying right now. So we'll keep government to that commitment, and of course, in this case, it's because we're going to be taking over ownership, and they would have to bring that road up to the standard that would be acceptable to us. And then the additional boundary expansions are more for thoughts on future expansion of the town, you know, in places where there would be potential residential development, et cetera. The other thing, quickly, I won't get into a big spiel tonight on the water quality. We've talked a lot about water, of course. We do know there's a lot of residents in town in different areas who have been experiencing sustained water issues. Most people in town, I'll reiterate, haven't had issues, or if they have, certainly has been temporary at the worst. But we have been working every day, as the minutes say, to work with staff to make sure that we're doing everything we can to try to resolve these issues as quickly as possible. And unfortunately, in some cases, it's been a difficult task. And we've tried a number of different things, and there's no one-size-fits-all when it comes to this. We got the aging infrastructure that's anywhere from, you know, sometimes up to 100 years old. So anyhow, as the Councillor Hiscock had said there in the minutes, we do want people to report it and we want to have open communication with people who are experiencing issues so that we can continue to look to resolve that for the long term. And the consultants, I expect, will be meeting with staff this week at some point to get things started on looking at some of those trouble areas from an independent perspective to see if they can lend us some help and offer some solutions. So I just want to mention that. Okay, last chance on the second set of public works. All right, we got a mover and a seconder. All those in favor? Aye. Contrary minded? Motion carried. Okay, corporate services. Councillor Dwyer, please.
Thank you, Mayor. The following are the minutes for corporate services held 5 p.m. Thursday, October 12, 2023. Present were myself as chair, Councillor Amy Cody, Councillor Dave Knoll, Deputy Mayor Mike Brown, Councillor Bob Hiscock, Councillor Andrew Little. Staff in attendance were Darren Finn, our Chief Administrative Officer, Pete Windsor, Manager of Finance, Robin Hannaford, Communications Officer, and Steve Goss, Director of Corporate Services. Labor report. The committee reviewed the labor costs as of week 40. Total labor was $2,916,063. This was $320,795, or 10% under budget. The committee is pleased with the results of the labor budget and recommends that staff continue to monitor labor costs heading into the last few months of 2023. The committee reviewed the disbursement report in the amount of $1,731,717.27 and recommends this be presented at the next council meeting. Taxation receivable analysis. The committee reviewed the taxation analysis for September 2023. The report analyzes the receivable balances along with the amounts collected during the month. Total taxation receivables as of September 30th, 2023 is $3,736,331, an increase of $65,866.08, 1.8% from the previous year. Total amount of taxes collected in August 2023 was $526,329. Just like to note that that is a mistake there. It should be September 2023. The committee continues to encourage staff to increase efforts to collect all outstanding balances. Reminder that residents and businesses can check their balances and make payments online. Instructions are on the back of your tax invoice. Alternatively, you can come to the Town Hall at 5 High Street or call 489-0402 or 0403 to make a payment or set up a payment plan to avoid future interest charges. Donation requests. The committee reviewed a request from the South and Central Health Foundation for support towards its fall fundraising gala dinner in action on Thursday, November 2nd, 2023. The committee recommends being the Safe Ride Home sponsor, in addition to purchasing 2 tickets to support the event. The committee discussed a request for donations towards the Teen Challenge program and its local gospel concert event on October 28, 2023 at the Windsor Pentecostal Church. The committee recommends providing a donation of $250 towards the event to help offset the cost of this fundraiser. Naloxone memo. The committee reviewed a memo that went out to all staff which outlines the process when dealing with opioid overdose in town facilities. The memo outlines who are trained to administer naloxone and the steps to take if there is a risk of opioid overdose. Revised Budget 2023. The Director of Corporate Services, Town Clerk, provided a summary of the revised budget for the year 2023, which outlines year-to-date spending in addition to anticipated required purchases for the remainder of the year. The original budget for surplus from our operations to use towards capital purchases was $710,386. After taking into account all revenues and expenses for the year, that number is expected to increase to $896,139, which will help reduce borrowing for capital purchases. Additionally, our revised capital budget is $8,522,344.97, less funding of $5,133,353.73, to total net capital expenditures of $3,3 $388,991.24, which is $303,122.76 less than originally budgeted. Anticipated borrowing for 2023 projects is approximately $2.49 million, which is $488,876 less than originally budgeted. The committee is pleased with the results of the revised budgets, especially given the increased costs over the past year in most areas. The committee recommends staff continue to monitor costs for the rest of 2023 to ensure we stay on target with these anticipated results. Preparations for Budget 2024. The committee discussed some preliminary budget items for 2024 and talked about upcoming budget meetings and the plan for timing and completion of this year's budget. The meeting adjourned at 7 p.m. and I move the recommendations and report of this committee.
Okay, it's been moved by Councillor Dwyer, seconded by Councillor Little. Any discussion on the corporate services minutes? Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye. Contrary-minded? Motion carried. Okay, we do have a couple of resolutions there to get into the record. Councillor Dwyer, when you're ready, please.
This is Resolution GFW 2023-374. Whereas under Section 94 of the Municipalities Act of the Province of Newfoundland Labrador, subject to the approval of the Minister, Council may borrow monies and issue securities for the repayment of monies borrowed. And whereas it is deemed necessary to borrow in addition to existing credit facilities the amount of $1,625,603 in relation to 2022 capital projects as per the attached schedule, therefore be it resolved that subject to the approval of the Honourable Minister of Municipal Affairs, Council borrow this amount from CIBC Charter Bank in Grand Falls-Windsor, and that this amount be borrowed over a 2-year term with a 15-year amortization period. Be it also resolved that the Mayor and Director of Corporate Services be authorized to negotiate said loan and to sign promissory notes and execute all documents pertaining to this resolution.
Okay, it's proposed by Councillor Dwyer.
Second.
Seconded by Councillor Hiscock. Sorry, Deputy Mayor. The hand is quicker than the voice. Any discussion on the first resolution? Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye. Contrary-minded? Resolution passed. Councillor Dwyer.
Thank you, Mayor. Following is Resolution GFW 2023-375. Whereas under Section 94 of the Municipalities Act of the Province of Newfoundland Labrador, subject to the approval of the Minister, Council may borrow monies and issue securities for the repayment of monies borrowed. And whereas it is deemed necessary to borrow in addition to existing credit facilities the amount of $2,478,641 in relation to the 2023 capital projects as per the attached schedule. Therefore, be it resolved that subject to the approval of the Honourable Minister of Municipal Affairs, Council borrow this amount from CIBC Charter Bank in Grand Falls-Windsor, and that this amount be borrowed over a 3-year term with a 15-year amortization period. Be it also resolved that the Mayor and Director of Corporate Services be authorized to negotiate said loan and to sign promissory notes and execute all documents pertaining to this resolution.
Okay, it's being proposed by Councillor Dwyer. Seconded by Deputy Mayor Brown. Any discussion on the second resolution? And of course, before we vote on that, just for everybody's information, that is standard business for the town and other towns as well, for the most part. Almost all towns need to borrow for capital work, and by legislation, we're required to pass these resolutions through council meeting, and that's why sometimes we have these, and they're just a necessary part of the process. Okay, we do have a mover and a seconder. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. Contrary-minded? Resolution passed. Okay, we're moving into Committee of the Whole. We do have 2 sets of minutes for Committee of the Whole. Deputy Mayor, you go ahead with the first set, please, when you're ready.
Thank you, Mayor. Committee of the Whole met 5:15 p.m. Tuesday, October 17, 2023. Those in attendance were myself as Chair, Mayor Barry Emanuel, Councillor Amy Cody, Councillor Holly Dwyer, Councillor Bob Hiscock, Councillor Andrew Little, and Councillor Dave Knoll. Staff in attendance: Darren Finn, our Chief Administrative Officer; Nelson Chapman, Director of Public Works and Development; Steve Goss, Director of Corporate Services; Tab Mercer, our Director of Community Services, and Robin Hannaford, our Communications Officer. Lionel Cullen Hospice. The committee reviewed correspondence from the Lionel Cullen Hospice, inviting council to their opening event tentatively planned for November 23rd, 2023. The committee was very pleased that the project is near completion and recommended all council make an effort to attend the opening activities. Community Centre consultations. The committee discussed public consultations related to the proposal for constructing a new community centre. The committee recommends that staff begin some stakeholder consultations as soon as possible. Grand Falls House Foundation. The committee reviewed correspondence from the Grand Falls House Foundation about funding required to restore Grand Falls House. The committee recommended that staff request a meeting with the board to discuss possible steps forward. The meeting recessed at 6 p.m. and the meeting resumed again at 6:10 p.m. Corporate Services Budget 2024. The committee reviewed the goals and objectives for the Corporate Services Department related to developing the 2024 budget. The committee was pleased with the presentation and recommended staff incorporate the information into the budget draft. Cross-country ski trail. The committee discussed whether any brush cutting was carried out on the cross-country ski trail. Staff reported that much of the growth on the trail was cut and wires and light poles were repaired. As well, the groomer continues to be worked on to get ready for the upcoming season. The committee was pleased with the progress of the trail, and the committee reinforces its desire to install more video surveillance in and around the town's public facilities. The committee recommends that staff address this need. Ticket portal at Joe Byrne Memorial Stadium Community Services. Staff reported that the software used for issuing tickets in the Community Services Department is outdated and needs to be replaced. The committee recommends that staff investigate related options. And I move the recommendations and report of this committee.
Okay, it's been moved by Deputy Mayor Brown, seconded by Councillor Dwyer. Any discussion on the first set of committee of the whole minutes? Councillor Little.
Just in relation to the Lionel Cullen Hospice, that's a project that began a long time ago. And a lot of fundraising was involved over the last number of years, and myself and Deputy Mayor were at the Chamber of Commerce Business Awards this past week, and Mark Griffin was the guest speaker at it, and he discussed the project and how it's finally coming to fruition and all the hard work along the way, and they're all very excited about it, and it's going to be a very big thing in the province. It's the first one in the province, and it's something that the group in this community have undertaken to make it the first in our province, and hopefully not the last, because it is going to be a province-wide facility. It's not going to be just people from our community, it's going to be people from communities all over the province, and there's going to be accommodations in the hospice for some families and stuff that are going through that. So it's a really good project, and it's hopefully they'll get a good crowd for their grand opening, and they deserve our congratulations. Thank you.
Well said, sir. It's a big accomplishment after, I think, 7-8 years probably that since this project had started, at least conceptually, and the crowd that have been involved before and the ones that have been involved since the beginning have done a lot of work, and it just goes to show how one of these projects takes so much work and does take time for it to come to fruition. And I expect a lot of citizens of Grand Falls-Windsor particularly will be able to use our facility here, the Lionel Cullen Hospice, so that they can die with dignity. And the facility itself has undergone a major facelift outside and in. So it's a beautiful, beautiful place, and we look forward to the opening. And as Councillor Little said, we hope it won't be the last in the province, and I suspect it likely won't be. And we're very proud of the group who've gotten to this point, and I'm sure they're proud of themselves and excited as well. So congratulations again, and thanks, Councillor Little. Any other comments on the first set of committee of the whole minutes? No? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor? Aye. Contrary minded? Motion carried. Okay, we have to go into the second set of minutes, and Deputy Mayor, I'll ask you to excuse us, please. Okay, I'll ask Counselor Hiscock if you would step in again and read the minutes on Deputy Mayor's behalf.
I will, Mayor. Committee of the Whole met 6 p.m. Tuesday, October the 17th. Present were Chairperson Mayor Barry Manuel, members Councillor Amy Cody, Councillor Dave Knoll, Councillor Holly Dwyer, Councillor Andrew Little, Councillor Bob Hiscock, staff, Darren Finn, our Chief Administrative Officer, Steve Goss, Director of Corporate Services and Town Clerk, Todd Mercer, Director of Community Services, Nelson Chapman, Director of Public Works and Development, and Robin Hannaford, Communications Officer. Crown Lands referral. The committee reviewed a request from Crown Lands for the Grand Falls Golf Club to be granted ownership of land that is currently occupied by holes 1 to 9. The committee recommends council support the Crown Lands referral for ownership of this Crown Lands to be transferred to the Grand Falls Golf Club. The meeting adjourned at 6:10 p.m. and I move the recommendation and report of this committee.
Thank you. It's been moved by Counselor Hiscock, seconded by Counselor Knoll. Any discussion on the second set of Committee of the Whole minutes? No, just not going to get into too much explanation because it is a more of a golf course thing, but it's funny to hear that the land that holes 1 to 9 are on is not belonging to the golf course since they've been playing golf on it for 99 years. So it's just one of those things. You hear a lot of cases around the province about Crown Lands and people finding out through different means of land ownership may not be going the way that they thought it was, and it's a process that they have to go through now just to make that official. So that's what that's all about. Any other comments? Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye. Contrary minded? Motion carried. Okay, well, welcome the Deputy Mayor back, and we will ask if there's any notice of motion. No notice of motion, we'll move into other business, and first tonight is Councillor Knoll.
Thank you, Mayor. Just want to congratulate the Community Services and the persons responsible for a successful Comic-Con event this Saturday at the Joe Byrne Memorial Stadium. This is a group that's, for the first time, really been recognized as a whole entity. And speaking to some of the students today and a few vendors that were down there. And unfortunately, I never got down. I tried to get down several times, but life gets in the way. But I mean, it was just a fabulous event, fantastic event, actually. I mean, the way that they described it to me today, I mean, it was real, and they were there, and they were part of the dressed in costume, the whole shebang. So I just want to say hats off to the first ever Comic-Con in Grand Falls-Windsor, and from all discussion, it's going to just take a life of its own and something to look forward to in the future. I definitely want to get down there again. Just take a little second again to reach out or to speak to those people who have reached out about the water woes. Just like you know, I mean, the mayor spoke to it already. Council is diligent on trying to resolve this. This is, is job number one, I guess, for lack of a better description. And we all want to see it resolved. No, we don't want to see anybody with discolored water, and we feel for those people. But I mean, we just can't randomly, drag millions of dollars out of our back pocket, go dig up the whole community. So we're seeking some outside assistance and, working through the public works every day and the discussions that we have. I know that we see the huge threads, and just let the public know that, it's being looked at as earnestly and as effectively as we can. And just to reassure the public, I mean, we're not just putting you guys on the side. Just want to take one other second to mention to the users of Gorge Park. I was down the other day, and I seem to have seen some bikers have been surrounded ganged up by ducks. And the ducks had kind of cornered them, and the bikers were kind of weaving the way, and they're very, very diligently trying to break through the flocks of ducks. I mean, I guess, we got lots of Elmer Fudd wannabes around, and they're duck hunting, and all the ducks have found a safety in our Gorge Park. And they flocked there, pun intended, by the hundreds. I mean, it was just a tremendous, sizable amount of duck population. and just to encourage people to go down and see it, take a few pictures, because I mean, it is quite a sight, actually. A lot of beautiful birds down there. You know, and I'm not an avian enthusiast or a know-it-all, but I mean, just to sit there and see all these beautiful birds and people enjoying their company and comfort. But take your time, run down and see it, because it is part of the whole Gorge Park, which we want to develop as part of the river. Thank you, Mayor.
Yep, thank you. Councillor Hiscock.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple of items. One is October is focusing on recycling and reusing, and especially October 16th to the 22nd was Waste Reduction Week in Newfoundland. And we'd just like to just get people now online with regards of recycling, you know, what can be recycled, and take care of it properly. And like I'm always saying, out in North Storm now we have a major building out there, and we can recycle a lot more than what's going out there. So we're asking people to be diligent and take their time and recycle their materials. Also, there's a lot of things going on in Grand Falls-Windsor in between now and the end of the year. Hats off to Mr. Todd Mercer, our Director of Community Services, and his team. And there's a bunch of stuff, so I just tell the residents to keep an eye, keep a watch on our Facebook page, because a lot of the items that we have there went in, what, a couple of just seconds, wasn't it? Couldn't believe it. It was just unbelievable. So we just keep watching. There's a lot of things coming up, a lot of real good things coming up. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Hiscock. Councillor Little.
Thank you, Mayor. As I mentioned earlier, myself and the Deputy Mayor attended the Chamber of Commerce Business Awards this past week, so I'm just going to highlight some of the award winners. The Chamber of Commerce, before I get started, is, I guess everyone knows, it's a regional Chamber of Commerce. It's not the Grand Falls-Windsor Chamber of Commerce, it's the exploits. So it includes the South Coast and Botwood, Bishop Falls, Badger. So just to highlight some of the businesses, Small Business of the Year was Impact Hockey. The Ambassador Award was the Lionel Kellen Hospice. Customer Service Award was Sigma Lab Services. A Business Growth Award was Skur Enterprises. The Personal Excellence Award was Essence Medical. Businesswoman of the Year was Sherry Sharon. Business of the Year was Badger Diner. The Indigenous Award were Sisters Gifts NL. And inducted to the Hall of Fame were the Lion Maxims Camp, South and Central Health Foundation, and the Queen Street Dinner Theatre. So it was a really great night. Supper was excellent. The Deputy Mayor finished it all. And 2 desserts. I see that. And, but no, it was a great night. There was, like I said, Mark Griffin spoke. That was really good, and it was a great night. And the Deputy Mayor said to me that it's the biggest crowd they've had there since he's been on council. So it's growing, which is always good. And one last thing is, a week from today is Halloween, so you're going to see a lot of little kids zipping around neighborhoods in the dark. So remember, at least on that night, slow down and be careful, and you can get lots of candy ready for the kids. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Almost that time. Thank you. Councillor Dwyer.
Thank you. In the corporate services minutes, I mentioned that on November 2nd, South and Central Health Foundation has a gala, and that the town of Grand Falls-Windsor has decided to sponsor a safe ride home for people who attend that event, which was very fitting. Councillor Hiscock, Councillor Cody, and I attended Mad Exploits candlelight ceremony this past weekend, I guess the weekend before last, and they pay tribute to families and survivors and gather with families who are directly impacted by impaired driving. And it wasn't the first time I attended that event. Very sad and eye-opening for anyone who has to witness what people go through when they're victims of impaired driving. So I'd like to thank Al and Joan Hawkins, Lynn Gaines, and Jim and Alicia Smith, who participated in the event. Since the last public meeting, October the 10th, there was an announcement about the establishment of the new family care team in Grand Falls-Windsor. Great news for primary care access here. And our Community Health Care Coalition team has certainly been advocating and anticipating that announcement since it was announced that we would be one of 10 communities who would be first to have a family care team established in 2023 or 2024. I think there was $21.2 million allocated to family care teams for 2023, 2024. So we were anticipating that we would be one of the first communities, but we really wanted to make sure that we were one of the first of the 10. And so our chair of the coalition, Cyril Farrell, had been speaking to the minister, and we've been writing back and forth, and we wanted them to recognize how important it was here in Grand Falls-Windsor, given the unique location and services that we offer here at the hospital. And so it was great news, welcome news, and certainly part of the solution for solving some of the critical healthcare issues that we have here in Grand Falls-Windsor and the region, but not a full solution. And we still have a significant number of residents in Grand Falls-Windsor who don't have a family physician. Hopefully, the family care team will help in that regard, and we'll continue with our efforts to do what we can as a community to help recruit and retain physicians in the area. Any residents in Grand Falls-Windsor who don't have a family physician and want to be connected with that family care team, they should go to patientconnect.nlchi.nl.ca, and they will be assigned to Grand Falls-Windsor's family care team. It only takes a few minutes, and we look forward.
Like a lot, but if you just say Patient Connect NL on Google.
Patient Connect NL,
You'll
get
get
there.
it.
Yes, yeah, you will. The other thing is, after that announcement on October the 10th, our coalition met on October the 12th with Dr. Jared Butler and Janet Morgan Little, who is the manager of the family care team, and we wanted just a little bit more understanding of how many people they plan to be associated with our family care team here, and just how it's going to be organized. So Dr. Butler clarified that even though there were two family physicians who would be allocated, it's actually likely be more than two family physicians, but the full-time equivalent of two family physicians. So there will be a physiotherapist, occupational therapists, nurses, two nurse practitioners, one nurse practitioner, two family physicians, a lot of healthcare workers. So the idea is a pharmacist. When a patient presents themselves to the family care team, they won't necessarily see a family physician. It will be determined who will best meet their needs. It could be a physician, but it might be a pharmacist. It could be a physiotherapist, and the idea is collaborative care, and we certainly look forward to it improving primary care in Grand Falls-Windsor. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, and it's very important, and I'm glad that you went through it like you did, and you did an excellent job. Because people out there are wondering, as we know, we've lost a lot of family doctors, a lot of people are without, as you said, and the whole premise of it is to try to streamline things, to make sure that one family physician is not seeing patients for things that maybe they shouldn't be seeing them for, only to pass them on to someone else who they've got to wait to see. So it is definitely good in theory, and as you said, it won't solve our issues totally right now, but it certainly should go a long way to help. So if you don't have a family doctor, again, Patient Connect NL on Google. I don't know the rest of it to type it all in, but you'll get it that way, and you can put your name in, and you will be added to the list of people who are looking for a family physician, and that's very important. And I should say yourself, as our representative on the coalition, and Cyril Farrell, you mentioned as the chair, and everybody involved have done a fantastic job in lobbying efforts, in being able to present ideas to government, to meeting with all the local physicians and healthcare professionals, stakeholders, and as you know, it's been a lot of meetings. And I know since the Healthcare Coalition started, and I had asked Cyril to chair that before Christmas 2 years ago. And so it's almost 2 years now. And I suspect that there's been at least 300 meetings because Cyril is very dedicated and he's a doer. So thanks to the coalition and everybody involved, and I don't want to name them because I haven't got a list in front of me and I'm afraid I'll forget someone. Okay, Deputy Mayor Brown.
Thank you, Mayor. A few things tonight there. I attended a ceremony at the YMCA just recently, last week, where they rededicated the lobby of the YMCA to two wonderful individuals, one being Frances Nichols, who was the originator of the Y. She brought the idea of having the YMCA here in Grand Falls-Windsor and started off in the basement of the United or Anglican Church. I'm not sure which, but one of those basements, that's where the YMCA started. And moved there shortly after to the gymnasium behind the Catholic Church there in Church Road, and now to its present building. But I'd like to acknowledge her for her good work. She started the YMCA in Grand Falls-Windsor. And the other citizen that was acknowledged at that ceremony was Tina Sparks, who had a major role to play in the aquatics program at the YMCA, and actually gave her life trying to save someone from drowning during the Buckins Highway somewhere. But I'd like to acknowledge those two wonderful individuals, and the lobby could not have been dedicated to better people. Back to the Seniors Fair, just a fantastic event. Hats off to Mr. Mercer and Stanley Singh for their efforts in ensuring that was the success it was. Myself and Councillor Hiscock were there for the day, and like I said, 750 people went through, and it was good to see. They all stick around and listen to the concert by the UC5, as well as myself, and Councillor Hiscock stuck around too. The guys put off a great show. But a great Seniors Fair, the best one we've ever had, and we look for some improvements going into next year. The skateboard park there on Cromer Avenue was officially opened in the last 2 weeks, and some great improvements. The youth of the community are super excited to have the new additions to the skateboard park, and it's been full. I've been checking out in the evenings and getting a little bit sparse up there now with the cooler weather, but the place was blocked the first when we opened it for every evening, and it's a good area. The parents can park in the area too and keep an eye on their kids and that kind of stuff. So good job by Mr. Mercer again. The additions to it is very well received by the youth of Grand Falls-Windsor. What else do I have there, Mayor? The Santa Claus Parade Committee met last week. Christmas just around the corner. The Santa Claus Parade in Grand Falls this year will be December 4th. So the community can look forward to that, and our special thanks to Wanda Healy, who's the chair of this year's committee as well, and committee member Steve Healy and Des Hines will also be there in the town to assist those people in putting off a successful Santa Claus Parade. So I'd like to welcome them back, and everybody can look forward to December 4th. And finally, I'd like to wish a farewell from the community to Kim Wilkes McDonald, who, if anybody remembers the provincial Special Olympics Winter Games, we've had 2 here in the last 6 years, who was the lead role and brought the games. Along with yourself, Mayor, I got to say, first when I got on council, you made an effort to have Grand Falls-Windsor as the host of those games. And not only did we do it once and do it very well, but we did it twice and did it very well. But her and her family are moving to Australia now, so I'd like to wish her and her husband Colin and the family all the very, very best. She will be missed, because not only was she a big lead role with the Special Olympics in the Grand Falls-Windsor and the province, but she also assisted with their community services department on occasion with ideas and that kind of stuff. So all the very best to the Wilkes McDonald family, and certainly they will be missed. Thank you, Mayor.
Yeah, Kim was one of those people who was involved in whatever and everything, you know, very active community member, so she will be missed. Going down under, mate.
Yes.
So we wish them all the best, and the kids, of course, in the future, and hopefully we'll see them again back here in Grand Falls-Windsor. I do have a couple of quick things there. The nursing school is going to have their opening tomorrow evening at the location on Hardy Avenue. The old Key and Tech building, I guess, is best known, across from the Rift store, or is it Dollarama, that one? The dollar store one, yeah, okay. So they're located there, and that's been something that, again, we have been lobbying for many years, and we want to welcome all the nursing students here, not only the ones from Grand Falls-Windsor who are now able to do nursing as a career option here in their community without all the additional expenses that they have to take, but all the community people who we now are drawing in, new people who are coming into our community. And of course, they're talking about 30, 32 students per class, and it's a 4-year program. So of course, after every year, you get another 32, until you get up to like a regular 120-some nursing students here in Grand Falls-Windsor. So it's good for the community, and we look forward to having those people as active members as well. And congratulations to everybody involved in that. And of course, it goes a long way to retaining nurses as well, which is important. You know, usually you, not usually, but a lot of times you put down roots where you go to school, and I'm sure we'll be the beneficiary of that as well. We had the firefighters ball just a short while ago since our last meeting. I think all the council was in attendance. And again, they recognized a lot of members who had service milestones, 5, 15, 10 years, 20, 30, you know. Dave Byrne last year had 50 years of service with the firefighters. But our own chief, Vince McKenzie, celebrated his 20th anniversary as a chief of the department. And, you know, where does 20 years go? But Vince McKenzie has been a great ambassador for the community, and very well-respected fire chief, not only in our province, but across the country. And he's done a lot, so I just wanted to recognize Vince here tonight on behalf of council and the town, and thank him for all his service, and for all firefighters. As I said at the dinner, when I was thinking about what to say, because sometimes you run out of things to say, I was thinking it doesn't matter. You can never say enough for what the firefighters mean to our community and the protection that they provide. And obviously, it's a service that what would we do without? And those people are giving up their free time, time away from their families to save people in many cases and property of people they may not even know. So it's good on them, and thanks to everybody involved again. Councillor Little mentioned that Halloween is coming up. We also have Remembrance Day coming up before our next public meeting. And as usual, there'll be a ceremony on November 11th at the Memorial Grounds. So we hope everybody gets out. I find in recent years there's been bigger and bigger crowds, especially when the weather is favorable. And it's very important for us to obviously be there and show our respects. I won't be there. I actually will be out of town that weekend. My son has a basketball tournament, but the deputy mayor will be there on my behalf, and I'm sure other council members will be there as well. And the public are invited, and they do have the ceremony usually around 11 o'clock, I think, isn't it, Councillor Hiscock? I'm looking at you because I know you're a Legion member and always involved in that ceremony. Usually it's at 11, right?
Yeah, we usually march off at 11:15 from the armories, and then we'll head to the Senate that for the ceremony.
Yeah, okay. So anybody can get out. And the last thing I wanted to mention, and you know, we go through a lot of happy birthdays and that around here, but I did want to take a second just to wish a very happy belated 90th birthday to Mr. Dick Duder, or Ernest Dick Duder. He does have another, Ernest Alfred, I think it is. Ernest Alfred Duder. Many people know him as Dick. And he was telling the story to myself and the deputy mayor because we had a public meeting actually the night of his party, that they had a surprise party at St. Joseph's, and he was quite surprised. And he said that when he was young, and they used to make the donuts, you know, just dough and fat basically, and he said he used to love them. He'd eat hundreds of them. And they used to call him Dickie Donut. And he said the Dickie part stuck. So ever since, he said he's been Dick Duder, and 90 years young, and he very healthy, and his wife Jan, and we talked about the gardening and that they do, and keeps them young as well. And Dick still plays some baseball, I think, when the old-timers play, up until a year or two ago at least. He's a Hall of Famer. And I remember a few years ago I was playing on the weekend that they play a couple of games, just fun games against Cornerbrook, and he caught both games, like 14 innings. And he was 88 or something at the time, and no way was he coming out. Like, forget it. So happy birthday, Dick, and I did want to recognize him this evening. With that, I don't have anything else, and I don't expect anybody else does. If so, speak now. If not, I will call for a motion to adjourn. Councillor Hiscock, seconded by Councillor Knoll. All those in favor? Aye. Can't be reminded. Motion carried. See you next time.